Please, I ask you, remove the image and references to Isha Foundation and Sadhguru from your social media and your page. And I say this thinking that the man in the video here comes across as slightly arrogant and self-absorbed in the way he talks. By design, we are dirty, stinkily, ugly, hairy, and all of humanity's efforts will be...
What do you think about that comment, Shiva?
I want to talk about a YouTube comment that somebody wrote me.
Yeah, I read it.
I think it's very prevalent, and you know, I get lots of comments, but this is an interesting one, and it made me think. So I'm going to read it out to you. I'm sure I'll put it on the screen.
You're not gonna like my answer. I'm gonna tell you that right now.
So, Jose Salinas says, "Hello, excuse me, but I have to say that I disagree with your recording these types of videos, especially those that are referencing to the Isha Foundation and Sadhguru. I'm not an expert on the subject or a great meditator, but I can clearly see that you're not qualified to speak about these topics, which are more complex than you present in your videos. Please don't take this as an attack. If you're on the path, you'll know that everything nourishes your development. And in this case, I had to tell you, I don't see you have the clarity and perspective to give a video like this. So, if you want to publish things, please don't reference to Sadhguru or Isha. Please, I ask you, remove the image and references to Isha Foundation and Sadhguru from your social media and your page. You may have good intentions, but I think this will further discourage people from connecting with the real spirituality that one can discover through Sadhguru."
Bro, I just don't understand, like, right off a rip, where does a man get off on telling another man what to do in general, but especially in this context where he's telling you to stop your life's work, essentially, and then says, don't take it as an attack. Like, in what world is that not an attack?
Yeah. When he said this is not an attack, I thought, okay, it's definitely an attack.
This is definitely an attack. Like, that's how it really is all the time. But, you know, in regards to the video itself, I watched it. It was short enough for me to watch it. But, you know, it's one of those things. I don't agree with what the guy's saying, right? I don't think anybody is banned from being able to speak on any subject. But at the same time, you know where I stand on the whole semen retention thing.
So the content you may
I don't think it's
yeah. I understand, yeah.
Yeah, I don't think it's as big of a deal as anybody makes it seem, to be honest with you. It's like, when I hear you talk about it, the way you talk about it seems like horrible. Like, sounds like the most, like, horrible thing you could do to yourself. But, like, honestly, it's really not that deep, bro. Like, I swear, I think you've built up, like, some sort of a, like, the what do people call it? Like, just the, you know, what you've built up in your mind about it is what's causing it to be as negative as you're experiencing. Because I don't experience it that way at all. And I'm by no means like any sort of like fiend for that type of stuff. Like, honestly, like, if I feel like it, I might, but honestly, it comes up so rare nowadays because I'm just so, like, you know, everything else that's going on. But I literally don't feel any different at all ever when I do. When I'm like, so I think it's silly, honestly.
Yeah. Well, I mean, well, what I think is that you are lacking the sensitivity to perceive the consequences of this and the benefits of this. But we can logically...
Yeah, but it's like when I... go ahead.
We can logically talk about it, and I can logically lead you to understand this is much better as a man.
No, I get what you're saying, but it's just like when I hear, like, when I was listening to you today, like, especially with everything that happened to me this week, like, I was just sitting here, I'm like, this is such a first world problem. Like, this is just like a silver spoon type of problem. Like, there's so much more going on in life than to, like, worry about how you feel after you wank off. Like, I'm sitting here trying to figure out, like, you know, people in my family are passing away. Like, my mom just lost her job. I'm about to go to this clinical trial. Like, they're experimenting on me. Like, there's just so much stuff, and that's the half of it. And then I hear this little Canadian talking about how he's feeling after he wanks or doesn't wank, and I'm just like, bro, like, what?
That's so interesting. Yeah, I guess. No, but you're right. This is a first world problem, and this is what is this?
You got too much time on your hands, bro. I'm telling you, that's all it is.
We all gotta pick a niche and talk about whatever.
I can't know, but we've spoken about this. I can't knock you for where you are because you're privileged. I mean, that's just what it is. But from somebody speaking from the different perspective, I definitely gotta tell you how it comes off. It's like kind of silly. It's like, it's like it's like, how people like they start thinking about their thoughts, like that type of that little whole circle jerk. That's basically what it sounds like to me. It's like you have a thought, and like anybody else would just be like, okay, anyway, I got to go to work. But you're like, but why am I having this thought? It's like, what the heck?
Ah, man, you're discrediting my whole job here.
No, but I mean, it is what it is. There's people in your, there's people in your same situation. So who am I? Who am I to stop you?
I guess to put it simply, we don't have to make a big deal. I do make a big deal out of it. I dissect it very deeply, but essentially this was something that I wanted to get rid of. This was an addiction. I wasn't proud of it, and I dropped it, and I'm very grateful for that, and I'm sharing how to do the same on my YouTube channel.
It just reminds me though of a quote that, I mean, I've heard it several times, but somebody just reposted it recently and it reminded me of it, and it was like along the lines of like, you have to earn the right to deal with bigger problems by dealing with the current problems, right? And so it's like when I hear you talking about how you feel about when you wank off, I'm just like, this guy doesn't have enough problems to conquer right now. Like, he needs better, higher quality problems.
Yeah, I guess that's true.
Mm-hmm. Because that just is so low. It would be so low in my like list of things to worry about that it's like non-existent, to be honest with you. There's so many other pressing things.
I want to read the most pressing comment that somebody replied to this comment, and it has 4 likes.
Remind me to talk about Jesus before we get off this topic, though, because you mentioned something about Jesus in the video. But go ahead.
Okay. So he says, divinus infinitum. He replies to this comment. He says, you might want to pause and reflect on how much of that spirituality you yourself practice. You aim to convince someone not speak his mind because of a picture of Sadhguru in the background. Who are you to admire just like him? I can talk about whatever I wish to talk about and have the picture of anyone I want in the background. If such irrelevant details cause you to react this strongly, I'd say you suffer from unnecessary attachment. Who are you to judge anyone's qualifications to speak about anything?
Yeah. Spot on that one, honestly. Round of applause for that guy. And that's exactly what I got when I read his comment. Like, I wanted to just like tell him off, honestly, because you're my friend. But like at the same time, I'm like, this guy is like the perfect. Like, if you were to picture the perfect like person who falls into a cult, that's him. Like, I don't know your level of involvement with Sadhguru. I know it's pretty in depth, but this guy I think he beats you on that front. He probably sucks Sadhguru's toe if he was in front of him.
Yeah. Well, let me read the next paragraph. It says,
there was another paragraph.
There's 3 more paragraphs. He says,
this is your narcissistic side. Let me read my comments for.
Well, that's funny that you should say that, because this is what follows. And he says, and I say this thinking that the man in the video here comes across as slightly arrogant and self-absorbed in the way he talks.
Spot on.
How could he tell? Most spiritual people are traumatized and need to cope with their past by LARPing their life away and acting like monks or shamans of the sorts.
Oh my God.
The greatest ability of modern human is self-deception. And once you get into too deep, you rather will continue to live in false identity if it means preserving your newfound comfort zone.
Oh my God, that's so. Matter of fact, round of applause for that guy. He hit it right on the head. But it's one of those weird things. Huh? Oh, there's more. Jesus.
Yeah. All you spiritual people need to learn that there is nothing divine or godly about humanity, regardless of the soul, chakra system, or consciousness. Don't shower for a few days. Don't clean your ass for a few days after defecating. Don't cut your toenails for a few months.
Yo, hey, hallelujah.
And all the spirituality will vanish.
Me? Did I write that?
No. All the spirituality will vanish away from together with your self-esteem, even if you manage to walk anywhere without being hunted down or bleeding from your toenails cutting into your skin.
Okay. He's taking it too far now.
By design, we are dirty, stinkily, ugly, hairy, and all of humanity's efforts will be...
How did I miss this? I thought I read that comment, but I don't know how I missed that.
All of humanity's efforts to be the opposite of that shows us that we are simply the basic luxuries that it is simply the basic luxuries of modern life that enable you to think so highly of yourself. Everything you depend upon to hold your self-deception proves the opposite is true. We are no different from apes and wolves, except we always took more than we needed to survive.
Man, round of applause. There's more?
That's it.
Oh, thank God. Yeah. You know, as absolutely and utterly correct that he is, he just spent way too much time explaining that to you. Like, he really cares about you because he took a considerable amount of time and energy to write that for you.
Respect for that guy.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
What do you think about that comment, Shiva?
Yeah. Am I qualified? Who knows if I'm qualified?
No, not that. Fuck that guy. I'm talking about the second guy who responded.
Yeah, I mean, he said many more things that are true than the first guy. That we don't shave or ass and hair.
What would you disagree with? Besides the obvious. Besides the obvious of him just saying there's no spirituality.
Yeah, he said that most people talk. Yeah, people say that people are traumatized in the spiritual field. I mean, who isn't traumatized? Oh yeah, all spiritual people need to learn that there's nothing divine or godly about humanity, regardless of the soul chakra. That's absolutely false. That's the biggest thing I disagree with, because human beings are the only animals on this planet that have self-awareness, the ability to meditate, the ability to be conscious of what we're doing, to transcend our own biology, to go across our habits and instincts. We have an ability to transcend our nature, our animal nature, which animals cannot. They're programmed by that, and they cannot do anything outside of that. So we are special, no doubt about it.